Hello folks, Killer Be Killed here again, bringing you another recording of my Dream Puppets modified graveyard manipulation stall kind of creature stealing deck. So we're on the iPad, we're just going to jump right into a match here. Turns out we are playing Liliana this game. And I believe this person is running a nice 60 card deck, so once it started I was looking forward to a good match. And we'll see what happens here. Yep, as we see, he's running a 61 card deck. I look at my hand, there's a Phantasm, a Thought Scour, and a Royal. There's a little stall, I got a creature, 3 lands, so there's not a lot of early mill, so it's not a great starting hand for my setup, but there's enough to keep me going for a while. And the one thing you notice right off the bat is my opponent, he went first and he had the mulligan twice, so he's already down to 5 cards after playing a land. So he's already at a huge disadvantage, and I think in the long run that helps me win this game. Actually, I win this game without even really any trouble whatsoever, and Obedient Dead's a really, really good deck in 1v1. So, I mean, this should have been a much better game than it was. He's getting out his medallion early. He's going to ramp up pretty fast. He definitely has no mana trouble whatsoever this game. But his lack of cards right now prevents him from playing early drop creatures, and I think that's the problem. He doesn't drop any like Nantuko Shades or any Lilianas, none of those shades, or the Specters. So really, just makes it easy for me. I'm able to do what I want, get to where I need to go. Now I can play this Phantasm here. It's safe. I have an Unsummon, so if he tries to murder it or cast an Innocent Blood or something like that, well, I basically make him waste his spell and I return it to my hand. And case in point, there it is. You kind of know it's coming. So I return it. He wastes his Innocent Blood. So, and I still have my creature. Those unsummons, they work great if someone's trying to mind control your creature or clone it or anything of that nature. Essentially, they lose their spell and you keep your creature. So. Or you could unsummon if he casts a 5-6 mana creature, you can unsummon his creature and he has to recast it next turn. So essentially he loses a whole turn. Now I have 2 Phantasms, so I'm going to cast this out. I'm not really worrying about it. I have an Into the Royal, so I can always protect it. I'm not going to put both of them out there though, in case he has an Infest. Because there's really no chance of him becoming 5-5 anytime soon, so there's really no reason to call the second one out. Maybe for needling damage, but I'm not going to win the game needling the death with a 1-1 against Obedient Dead. So, I mean, I'm sitting on an Into the Royal, 2 Crippling Chills, and he's down to 3 cards. So he does have a lot of mana. He's not dropping any cards. So right now I'm thinking, what does he have in his hand? Maybe he has a Rise from the Grave. Probably don't want to use that yet because there's really nothing in his graveyard to grab. Or maybe, you know, he's got a Grave Titan, some kind of demon, or could have a bunch of stuff in his hand. Maybe he's sitting on a Corrupt or even an Exsanguinate, you know, ready to do a lot of damage to me and up his life. But at this point, he has 3 cards and he can cast something for 6 mana and he doesn't. So, you know, I'm kind of like, what does he got? But I'm content to just let him kind of make the first move here. So I'm just going to swing with the 1-1 again. It's the lack of creatures he played which made this game pretty much easy for me. Like I said, if he was dropping creatures that he could pump up, like the Nantuko Shades, it'd be a problem for me because he has a lot of mana right now. That creature could, you know, pump up to a 5-5, a 6-6, and I'd really have to worry about it. I have no way of really blocking it. Now we see the Masker Worm coming in, and I'm going to return my creature to my hand because it will die and cost me 2 life if I let that effect of the Masker Worm resolve. So essentially I save my creature, don't lose any life. And now I could work, probably cripple this worm or see what I draw. This is the first hand where I really had to actually make a decision in the game. Do I obviously play a land, but do I traumatize him and cast my Phantasm for a 5-5? Or do I maybe just play one Phantasm or just play a Crippling Chill? Thought about casting that. I showed him I had it. Then I bring it back. And what that actually does is he does have a murder card and it draws it out, so. This is the safer way because no matter what, if he has a murder, he's going to kill my creature anyway and he can swing with the Massacre Worm. So the safest bet here was to use a Crippling Chill on the Massacre Worm. And that's the route I went for. But again, I was still thinking about it, debating in my head, do I want to traumatize him? And also the other thing was, you know, he was sitting on 2 cards with a lot of mana. Maybe he has a Rise from the Grave. Traumatizing him might not be the best idea for me right now, so it's kind of, you know. Now I use the Crippling Chill. I'm going to draw a card and basically take that worm out of the game for 2 turns. Can't attack this turn, it can't attack next turn. So, and there's the murder. So it didn't really matter if my 1/1 was a 1/1 or a 5/5. The Phantasm was dying either way. Now the good thing for me is he's down to 1 card. So, but I'm still like, what is it? You know, he's got a lot of land, so he should be able to play just about anything. Though he played the murder, so find out what it is next turn. Now's a good time for me to get my Traumatize out there. You know, he 7 mana. His creature is going to stay tapped, so if he casts something the following turn, I can chill it or return it to his hand. I'll put him out there because he's a 5/5 now. All my mana's tapped this turn. Nah, I probably should have checked his graveyard here just to see what was in there and whatnot, but I don't have anything to go in there for the time being, so I kind of just let it go. And now he has no cards. That's important to note. He's top decking. He just called a 7/7. And I got lucky here. I grabbed a Chancellor, which I can cast. I'm looking in his graveyard now. See, what do I want to cast? There's a murder in there. That's a good choice. I was debating between a murder and more or less a Rise from the Grave. I was thinking, well, I could grab a 7/6 out of there, his Pestilence Demon. Or I could, you know, but I decided that the best thing to do would just be remove that 7/7. Because if I grab his Pestilence Demon and next turn he gets a murder card, you know, then I'm kind of hurting. So the best thing to do is just to get rid of that creature. And even if I didn't draw this Chancellor, I had the Enter the Royal. I could have returned that card, made him recast it next turn. Then I could have, the following turn after he recast it, I could have hit it with a Crippling Chill again, made it basically ineffective for 2 more turns. I mean, really, and the Massacre Worm wasn't really a big deal because I could pretty much block that with the 5/5 if I need to. We can trade that off, so it wasn't that big of a deal, but the Chancellor allowed me to just basically end the game with my flyers. This confused me at first. I was like, wait a minute, what's he doing? What's he up to? But he was top decking, so he got the card to use it. This could have potentially been deadly for me, because if you look at my build, I'm not running a lot of creatures. If he runs in there and gets rid of my clones, gets rid of my 2 body doubles or my 2 Phantasms and my other Chancellor, because he has about 8 swamps over there. He can get rid of them all. What I have on the board is all I'll be playing creature-wise for the rest of the game, aside from like an Adept or a Crab, which honestly isn't going to win me the game, so this was potentially dangerous for me. I'm not sure how I feel about that card in 1v1, Nightmare Incursion. I just think it's too expensive for 1v1. I love it in 2-headed Giant. Especially there's a certain build I play when I play Liliana and Jace combined. Combine that with Telemann Performance, it works very good, but 1v1 I'm not sure. And blocking that was, you know, questionable. Like if he had cards in his hand, it was questionable, because he could have hit me with a Fume Spitter in his second main phase and killed my creature. My best bet if he did have cards was to just let that 6 damage go through and swing with my 2 flyers. But, you know, I blocked it because he couldn't really do anything. He didn't have any other cards, so. And he was just swinging out of desperation. There was really no reason to swing there. He should have let me swing first and basically then he would have been able to swing unimpeded, and maybe you could have drew something that could have cleared the board or anything. But other than that, he left, the game was over. Computer takes over, and that's it. So again, we see this modified blue deck in action. Kind of really used my own creatures this game. I didn't really steal any creatures from him. I won with 2 flyers. That's another thing on this deck. If you don't have flyer protection, you could get a couple flyers out there.